Okay, here we are going live once again. I think it says I'm live, so just do the usual housekeeping thing of doing the chat pop out, and all shall be well. Hey Frank, how's it going? You're in very promptly this evening. How's things in your part of the world? With a bunch of people disappointed that England got knocked out of the World Cup. Although I did see you're not particularly into it. And hello, Joel and Toby. Oh, thanks for asking, Toby. Yeah, the Angry family are all quite well, and AZ is quite unwell, but soldiering on. Hi, Will. And yeah, you know, in AZ world, that's about as much as we can hope for. The keeps soldiering on. Catherine, how much do you miss? I literally just started slightly late this evening. And how much does my drink look like a urine sample tonight? No, it looks quite orange. If your urine looks like that, go see a doctor. Yeah, that's a good summary, Frank. Theresa May doesn't know her ass from her elbow. Jeremy Corbyn lives in magical fairyland. Minor parties are a major joke. And the closest ally is led by the oldest toddler ever. Great time to be alive. Well said, well said, well said. Yeah, Corbyn's a very interesting person. You know, one way, a populist left winger, but leader of a major party, like not a sort of solo loose cannon like Trump. Video games. Hey, how you doing? And good evening to your Dalek as well. How's my shoulder? It's actually much better than. I mean, it's still like that doesn't hurt much, but ow! When I push it a bit further, that hurts. But yeah, because I've been getting physio for months now, and it's much better now than it was even a couple of weeks ago. But yes, good question, Will. What happened to my shoulder? I slept on it. As we say, Angry, how old are you? And I go, I can injure my shoulder by sleeping old. That's how old I am. It's the whole thing, like anyone who has a partner, someone they sleep with, who wants to be big spoon, will know the problem. Like when you snuggle up to them, what do you do with the bottom arm? Where do you put the bottom arm? Get under the neck. And I had taken to sleeping on it like that, and I put too much strain. My big fat head put too much strain on my shoulder, and seriously fucked it up. And I kept sleeping like that for ages, thinking there was nothing wrong. But then the pain got really bad, so I stopped sleeping like that. But I didn't get anything done about the shoulder. I just slept differently. And then I realized this pain is not going away. I've been in a lot of pain for months now. So I finally started going to a physio. Hey, Tara, how's it going? Toby, always a nude sleeper, whether I'm with someone else or by myself. I just feel more comfortable sleeping nude. You can actually regulate your body temperature better if you're nude in bed. That's my opinion. Sebastian, not working for once, so you're in early. Nice to see you. Yeah, video games. You missed some of the story because you pressed the wrong button. I am okay. It's just I've got a sore shoulder, and it's literally just this is like something coming out my neck. It's a little drawstring for my. This is a hoodie, but yeah, it's just a byproduct of being old. Not much you can do about. Well, you know, the alternative's not good. So I'll survive with a bit of pain because the alternative's not good. Toby, you nude or nothing. Isn't that the same thing? I don't know. Tara, you only wear socks. Yeah, see, I can understand that because often my feet are cold, but no, I don't wear socks in bed. Frankie, yeah, okay, I identify old enough to call it a system check instead of masturbation. Is it all still working? Yeah, that's the old joke about a kilt. What's worn under the kilt? Nothing. It's all in perfect working order. Hey, is it something in my... Oh, no, it was on the outside of my glass. That's okay. Yes, so sometimes, yeah, I agree, Frank. Got to do a system check occasionally. Hey, Tendai, how's it going? You've come in just at the right time, just when we're talking about masturbation. But as a regular, you will know that that is just basically something we talk about in all the live streams anyway. Thanks for letting us know. Celtic King's always on the job, Toby. Wants to see Tara naked. He's like, naked live streams. Yes. So I don't know what else is going on in the world apart from nakedness and masturbation. I mean, well, honestly, it's actually been a big news week, hasn't it? You know, World Cup if you're into sport, or Wimbledon if you're into different sport. The thing with the young soccer players getting rescued from that flooded cave in Thailand. And now the NATO conference is on, where Trump is surprisingly being a colossal dick. And so other world leaders are basically saying, you're a colossal dick. It was the guy from the European Union who said, hey, Mr. Trump, why not actually be nice to your allies instead of rude? Because you are actually running out of allies. Is just like at a really critical time in history, namely uh, uh, American power and influence waning and Chinese power and influence waxing, at that exact critical moment in history when a lot relies on the US getting their shit together, they end up electing a colossal fuckwit who does almost everything wrong and is just giving China a lot of free throws. Will, what happened to TFU Friday last week? Sometimes it just doesn't happen. What? It's kind of funny, just as you say that. I was thinking, wait, what did I do video-wise last week? I actually have to remind myself. Oh, that's right. No, I just made a video on the weekend. Yeah, it's one of those things, because I'm just doing the videos for fun, so I have to have the right motivation, and there just haven't been news stories leaping out at me in the last week. So the video I made on the weekend about losing friends over politics, that's just one that I'd been meaning to make for quite a long time, and I just felt motivated, thought I'm going to make that one now. So yes. La Heretic, there's a clip of AngryAussie trying to light his nipple hair on fire while his friends shout racial slurs at each other. That sounds like quality viewing, La Heretic. I don't actually know who AngryAussie is, but sounds A grade. Connor, that's a bold call. As the USA loses its status, Australia will rise as the ultimate power. When you look at world geography, the coming century, Australia may have no choice but to become much more closely aligned with China and less so on the US. Hey, Rukusan. But I mean, it's not like I'm a fan of the totalitarian regime in China. I think the rest of the world is very lucky that, for the most part, China is very inwardly focused, as opposed to the US, which has been very outwardly focused and trying to influence, if not control, things around the world. if China started wanting to fuck around with other people's business, that would be a problem. Video games are fun. You're multitasking on Discord, Twitter, editing a video. Yeah, okay, I see you're busy. Oh, the heretic. AngryAussie is a streamer who puts Nazis on his show. Okay, far right-wing nut. I knew there was a reason. I didn't know who he was. No real interest in people like that. Rooksan, I am doing fine, thank you. How's things in your world? Sebastian, big question. What about South China Sea dispute? You mean as in there are various entities like China and Japan and the US, and I think to some extent Australia, saying I own these islands, or I have the right to this waterway, and I can dictate who does what around here. I'm guessing that's what you're referring to. And if it is, yeah, what do we do about that? I mean, that's just one aspect of how, if you know, the US keeps going down the fucking plug hole that it's going down, Australia might find itself feeling like forced to side with China over the US, because with a ridiculous excuse for foreign policy that Trump's spouting, and the importance of China as a trading partner, it'd be like no gain to us in siding with the US and some gain in siding with China. Oh my God, that's what I mean, Frank. You don't want the if Chinese adults had as many guns as American adults had, we'd be trying. But like, if China wanted to do anything outside its borders, we'd be in trouble. Basically, sheer weight of numbers, we'd be in terrible trouble. China's putting some of their recyclables to use. The whole recycling thing is weird. It's starting to feel like we've been sold some absolute bullshit with recycling, as in the stuff that we put into special bins to be recycled isn't being recycled. It's just being dumped. And yes, we're being lied to and screwed over, but I honestly would have thought there would be money to be made in recycling. Why isn't someone actually doing it? Oh, yeah, Sebastian, you're saying Trump's understanding of economics, exports good, imports bad. That I saw someone do a really good deconstruction of why Trump can't make any successful deals. Like he's sold this complete fabrication of who he is, the deal maker. He's not a deal maker. He's a very, very bad businessman. He's only been held up by loans from incredibly shifty operators, be they the mob or Russian oligarchs. And he can't make deals, but he sees the world in terms of there's no such thing as mutually beneficial arrangements, because he is such a scammer and has always ripped people off. He sees any agreement in terms of someone's a winner and someone's a loser. And so if there's any sort of trade deal, agreement, whatever, where the other entity gains something, he goes, "Oh, America's losing. America has to be the way." It's like he doesn't understand the absolute basics of international trade or diplomacy, or being a fucking human for that matter. And he's going to fucking rip the American economy apart. So far, he hasn't fucked it. Like the last few years of the Obama administration, the American economy was on the uptick, and Trump hasn't managed to fuck that up yet. I mean, all he'd have to do to not fuck it up is not do anything. But if he does the wrong thing, it will come crashing down really quickly. And he seems really intent on doing the wrong thing. So we shall see what happens here. Yeah, Ruka-san, it will be a minor miracle if he hasn't completely fucked the American economy in the next couple of years. Aussie Gun Bunny, doing well, mate. How are you this fine? I'm going to say fine day. I don't know how it is in your part of the world, but it's like lurking cold here. It tells you who you're not voting for. Look, I think in the modern world, you get very clear indications, no matter what your politics are, who you want to vote for and who not. Hello, Charlie. How's it going? Hello. Aussie Gun Bunny getting a colonoscopy. I hope they're gentle about it, quite honestly. Look, so my shoulder is getting better because I keep going to the physio. I was saying that a bit earlier. Most nights I actually sleep through rather than waking up going, ow, fuck, ow, my shoulder hurts. Will Hart, what happened to TFE Friday? It just didn't happen. Some weeks it just doesn't happen. Like, I don't have the inspiration to do it. And I mean, I should be less precious, I guess, and just do something anyway. But sometimes I just don't have the inspiration to do it. Oh yeah, let's talk about like I said, it's weird in as much as the people who took it on themselves to be the public face of Brexit have just been shown to be colossal liars and charlatans. So the people who felt that they're, and by this I mean ordinary voters who felt, no, I don't like the idea of being part of the European Union. I think England should be like, sovereign nation, make its own laws and not actually negotiate with the EU. And I disagree with the whole Brexit idea. I don't think the EU is all that necessarily. I think there are lots of flaws in the EU. I just think it's a damn shame that, again, the people who were the loudest voices in the Brexit campaign have been shown to be liars and charlatans. And as Sebastian says, cowards who resigned, which left the people who thought that Brexit was a positive for England, left them high and dry because, like, Theresa May tried to come up with another version of how to do Brexit this week that the extremists on the Brexit side rejected. But it's like the people who say, oh no, like Boris Johnson, who flamboyantly resigned and whatnot. The people who you said they're pro Brexit, poo what Theresa May said. They don't have a plan. They're not saying no, don't do that, do this. They're just saying, oh, I don't like that. They don't have a positive plan. It's ridiculous. Pete, if Trump didn't have his dad's fortune, he'd be a hobo. Look, Trump would be richer now if he took the money he inherited from his dad and invested it in like a low yield bank account and just sat in a room somewhere playing with crayons and fiddling with his own shit, because he wouldn't have lost the billions that he lost and had to get bailed out repeatedly by extremely shifty operators. Tendo, you reckon May's got 2 months? I reckon you're being a little bit generous. Catherine, I think you're right. The evidence suggests the big voices on the Brexit side didn't have an actual plan for exiting. And I honestly believe that's because they thought they wouldn't win the vote. I honestly believe people like Boris Johnson and the other turds just mouthed off, told blatant lies. They knew they were lying, and they thought they'd never be called to account because they didn't think they were going to win the vote. And see, that would have suited them fine because they're just being the spoilers and complainers. So if they lost the vote, they could keep saying the shit they were saying with never having to take responsibility for it. But now, when they won the vote, they're still not taking responsibility for it. They're utterly betraying all the people who voted the way they said to vote. And yes, Sebastian, I think it's abundantly clear Trump didn't expect to win or want to win. You look at the vision of him at his inauguration, winning the biggest office in the world, and he just looked so fucking depressed. It was so strange. The whole thing was so weird. Larry, I think you're spot on why Trump doesn't release details of his financial position. I think there's two reasons. Because it'll show he's nowhere near as rich as he claims to be. And second, it will show all his criminal dealings. His criminal dealings with Russian oligarchs, the fucking mob. He's just... I tell you what, he just wanted the attention. He wanted to make a big splash. I don't think he even wanted to win the Republican nomination. He just wanted to come in like a wrecking ball, smash a few people about, and then talk about himself forever. But he definitely didn't want to be president. Hey, Jatma, nice to see you. Catherine, people keep voting for the donkey, first Trump, then Brexit, and they don't know what to do with it when they win. Oh, Jatma, that's a bold call. Trump will fight the Thai soccer team for the Nobel Peace Prize. I think that they might only be 11, but I reckon they could take Trump, quite honestly. Little side note there, Eric. Trump used wrecking ball to slut shame Miley Cyrus, which is ridiculous because Trump doesn't have any morality on a sexuality front. And I mean, you shouldn't. The idea of this sexual morality, but his fucking third wife posed nude, as in his current wife, the first lady of the US, posed nude, and it's the concept of him doing slut shaming repulsive just in and of itself, but it's again so typical of his hypocrisy. It's mind-blowing. It's just absolutely ridiculous that he should say that. Yeah, but there's the thing. People like Trump are never called to account. They never have to take responsibility for anything people say. It's absolutely ridiculous. Aussie Gun Bunny. Oh no, you're going around. You got to go to the loo again because of the stuff they gave you to clear you out for the colonoscopy. That's awful. Charlie, is Mimsy in tonight? I don't know where Mimsy is. She might just be next door. Might be able to find her at some point. Sorry, Connor, you just made me snort laugh a little there. If Trump could have an oxygen canister in his wig, so he could have gone into the cave himself in Thailand, racially abused the Thai boys. Oh my God. Video games, you just finished 6 Feet Under. Wow, that's good because that's been off air for a long time, like 10 years. There's conversation in season 5 with a side character who's a Republican. Okay. I only watched bits of 6 Feet Under. I never watched the whole series. Jatma, you feel like they will get held accountable one day? I don't know. The evidence isn't suggesting it. I see video games back in 2005. If anyone's mentioning Trump and politics, it's meant to be a joke because Trump mouthed off heaps about wanting to run for president, but no one took him seriously because why the fuck would you? But anyway. You, the heretic, you never believed in conspiracy theories until Trump won the presidency, but now all the conspiracy theorists are so. No. If there was any conspiracy to control the world, Trump's the last person they'd elect because he's just going to wreck the world. That's why Putin and crew did so much effort to help Trump, because they just wanted to destabilize America. It was kind of fascinating. The more we found out about, like, Russian bot accounts on social media in the lead up to the last US election. First, everyone went, oh, look, all this pro-Trump stuff whipping up racial hatred and whatnot. An enormous number of those were troll accounts. But then it turned out that part of the Russian operation was also to have really quite extreme anti-Trump accounts, because all they wanted was to pit Americans against one another and make America less cohesive and more unstable. And it really worked. Rick said anything he couldn't even spell conspiracy. Patrick, you think that's what he's trying to spell when he typed Kafefe? Yeah, who remembers that? What happened then? I reckon there's no two ways about it. It's like Trump was just losing cognitive function when it happened. Whether he had a mini stroke or he was falling asleep like a senile old man and just randomly hitting keys, that was a really troubling moment. And yeah, it's almost like people forgot about the time Trump had a fucking brain aneurysm on Twitter. Jamie, you think the P-tape will break the internet? Hey, it's yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I feel, and I could be wrong, I feel like if it really happened, as in Russia got some blackmail material on Trump, I feel like it would have come out by now. I could be wrong, but I feel like if it actually existed, it would have come out by now. Ah, musical aviator. You've been cleaning. You forgot to watch because you've been cleaning. Your mum's visiting on the weekend. That's always daunting, having to prepare for that. Hi, Charlie. You don't believe in lizard people conspiracies, but then there's Tony Abbott, who can't possibly be human. There is stuff not right about him. What's Hank Hill say on King of the Hill? That boy ain't right. I think if Hank Hill ever saw Tony Abbott, his reaction would be, that boy ain't right. There's definitely something that is not at all right with Tony Abbott. It's very disturbing stuff. Jaden, you remember Kafefe? You got a Monopoly board painting with Kafefe as the name, with allegations of people he fucked over. That's quite inventive. I like that. That's very good. I see, Leherty. I don't think Trump's senile as such. I honestly think there's a problem with his higher brain functions, but it's who he surrounded himself with. He surrounded himself with fucking evil people, like that internment camp idea. I'm going to do it. I'm trying to remember his name. I'm going to do a Google search for creepy Trump advisor, and I bet he comes up. Yes, he is the first. He's the first image result when you search creepy Trump advisor. What's his name? Stephen Miller. That guy, he's a fucking sociopath. And as again, people say, you using hyperbole when you say Nazi. No, someone who preaches Nazi ideology and Nazi methodology, it's safe to call them a Nazi. And Trump, the internment camps is straight from this guy. God, I've forgotten his name already, Stephen Miller. Because Trump just surrounded himself with really evil people. And Trump is deeply racist. Trump has been racist his whole life. Trump was raised by racists. His dad was in the Klan. His dad got arrested at a Klan rally. And Trump virtually the first time Trump made media in New York was when he was refusing to let people of color rent in his buildings. Trump has been racist his whole life, and he's now surrounded himself with really fucking scary extremists who come up with all this really scary extremist fucking policy. Yeah, video games. That's the nice thing. The turn left, alternate reality, and the turn left episode of Doctor Who. I think what that episode of Doctor Who got right is it would only take a couple of extreme events for virtually the whole world to go fascist. Once people feel under threat, people react in an extreme way. Oh, yeah, the heretic. Don't concerns about Bush feel quaint by comparison? And that's the thing. We actually forget how bad Bush and his cronies were. The war under false pretenses, the trillions of dollars blown on that, over 1 million people dead because of his actions, and Cheney and Halliburton ripping billions of dollars off. And like an absolute criminal scam. And it's like, oh, Bush seems okay now. No, Bush was terrible. The Bush regime was terrible, but it doesn't seem as willful and sociopathic as Trump. It's just terrible. Yes, you're right, Connor. The first photo of Stephen Miller is a side-by-side comparison of him with Joseph Goebbels. Tendai, the whole how will we recover from the damage that Cheeto did? As I say a lot, my biggest concern is Trump has damaged public discourse so much. I wonder if America is going to recover. Because, I mean, you look at how rabid his base is and how he whips them up and he's always talking conspiracies, lock her up and the press is the enemy of the people and just spouting conspiracies all the time. Now, Trump is an old, very unfit man under a lot of stress. It would be really predictable if he dropped dead, essentially. But if Trump dies, of course, all his rabid base, it's immediately going to be a conspiracy. The deep state murdered him. And God knows what they'll do. Look, maybe nothing. Maybe they're all talk and full of shit. But I have genuine concerns of what he did. And even if that doesn't happen, okay, say finally the investigation into Trump and his cronies provides incontrovertible evidence of criminal activity by Trump. Trump's impeached and indicted. Again, his rabid base see that as a conspiracy, and God knows what they'll do. But even if he loses an election, like if he survives till the next election and loses, again, his base won't accept that. They'll say it's a conspiracy. And again, God knows what it is. I mean, he has destabilized America so much. He's debased public discourse. The idea of basic decency has just been thrown out. So it's just absolutely unpredictable what would happen. Oh, wait, I think I'm missing some of the chat again. I always forget to change from top chat to things. Okay, we'll see if we get there. Okay, because the heretic, you're referring to Grasshopper, and I didn't see anything they posted. They're done with drone strikes and placing the Zero. I think you're probably talking about Obama. You want me to pick on Obama? Yes, his drone strike policy, punishing of whistleblowers, expansion of the surveillance state. There were lots of negative things about the Obama presidency. Heretic, I think that's a safe bet. The guy's trying to destroy NAFTA right now is going to go down as having the worst economic policies and just being the worst, basically, in so many ways. But again, I have a real, genuine concern that he's debased public discourse so very much that you're not going to recover. Tendai, that's a good point. If you go back to the turn of the millennium and try to explain the last 2 years to them, they'd think it was some very cheesy disaster movie, because it does not seem particularly plausible. I'm gonna get some ice and a drink. Heretic, you want to smell what the Rock's cooking up for the next election? He might, you know, he'd be a better celebrity president than Trump, but this and a little bit. Oh, I know what I'll do. A little bit of this. Recommend it. Charlie, maybe we did all die in 2012. That really was the end of the world, and we're in purgatory. That's a cheery thought. But in some ways, it is a cheery thought. There'd be an explanation for everything. Yes, in one way, that's a really depressing thought. But in another way, you know, it actually makes sense. Sebastian, you think Bernie 2020? I think Bernie needs to accept that his opportunity has passed. Man, he's too damn old. He needs to let the next generation come in. Sebastian, you think Arnie would be a tolerable celebrity? There was the talk for ages that the Republicans saw Arnie as such a positive for them that they were going to change the Constitution so you didn't have to be born in the US to be president, so Arnie could be president. If he was allowed to run, he would win. Yes. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Connor, you said, how long do you think it'd take for the next president to recover the USA, provided they had full integrity and best mind for the country? Like, Heretic, you've been all negative and saying it would take centuries because it's not the president, it's the entrenched power structure in the Senate and Congress. They have a really ridiculous absolutely ridiculous re-election rate. Like, you get all these people saying, "Oh, we hate Congress, we hate the people on Capitol Hill," but they've got like a 90+% re-election rate. I don't get it at all. Like in Australia, man, we've had elections where the sitting prime minister's lost his seat. People were so pissed off. We have some volatility, I guess, in our election. The US had this like 90 something percent re-election rate. It's absolutely ridiculous. They got like 13% approval rate, but 90+% re-election rate. It's absolutely ridiculous. I like that kind of Arnie's presidential quote. Need your boots, your clothes, your motorcycle, and your vote. Yo, video games. Please vote for me. I'm a cybernetic organism. Yeah, I think you're basically right, Heretic, that America's not going to significantly change for the better without significant changes to Congress and Senate and elections and whatnot. And the entrenched powers is not really going to want to do it. Yeah. It's interesting you say that, La Heretic, that things used to be great for Mexican Americans before the border paranoia because they'd just come up, they'd work, make some money, and leave, and they were a big part of the uh, economy. When I was it the first time or the second time I visited the States, and I met some people. I was there with my ex. She had family there, and one of her cousins was friends uh, with these Mexican guys, and we went and had a party at their house. And honestly, I had never seen prouder Americans, these Mexicans, because they came from a fairly shitty environment and had found themselves in an environment where if they worked, they got rewards, and they saw it as a really positive, and they were really happy to be part of America. Um, and it's just like this weird racism that's tainting everything now. So it's got nothing to do with who people are and how good they are and what they might do for the economy. It's just these idiotic racist ideas. Video games, expanding on the idea of we all died in 2012 and this is purgatory, or that, or in a video game. I have said sometimes some of the news stories are so stupid. You look at them and go, okay, not only are we in a Matrix style computer simulation, it's a really badly, lazily written computer simulation because this shit that's happening now is just dumb and makes no sense. Yeah. Yes, you're right, Heretic. Maybe it's hell. We're never getting out. We're getting what we deserve for our years of complacency. And there's not much we can do about it. You know, we just have to suffer through it, I guess. So, c'est la vie. C'est la vie, as the French say. And not saying I like to deliberately upset the French, but yes, saying c'est la vie to them would be something that would upset them. All right, Rickson, you want to know what upgrade you get at level 32? That's the problem. It's such a shitty game, you don't get upgrades. You know, it's just a grind. It's like we're in a really shitty version of Farmville, except you know there's never any point to the repetitive shit we do. So we're just kind of stuck with it, and there's no way out. So that really sucks. Who remembers Farmville? I think I might have played 5 minutes of Farmville. God, who remembers when early days of Facebook when it was all those games and you were constantly getting those fucking invites to do things for Farmville or fucking Mafia Wars or what were the other shitty games that were on Facebook? It's like Farmville and Mafia Wars, Bejeweled, Lion Spider. I don't know if Farmville still exists. Talking about the olden days of, you know, about, oh God, almost 10 years ago, I suppose. Oh, yeah, slot machine games, Rukusan, they still have that. The cafe game's still around. I mean, I play, and I have been playing for fuck knows how long on my phone. Basically the Simpsons version of Farmville. It's called Tapped Out. Um, and it's basically Farmville, but with Simpsons characters. You just do all the repetitive tasks to build things up and expand and get more buildings and more characters. And I've been playing it for Fuck knows how long, and I've got a really big Springfield now, and I've got like 200 characters running around in it. Ruka said, Tapped Out was the shiz. I still play it, man. The most recent themed thing was building Itchy and Scratchy Land, which just finished. So I built Itchy and Scratchy Land with like three roller coaster type rides, and got Itchy and Scratchy as characters. And now they're doing a little mini thing. I think the point is to end up with Poochie. So you have Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie. Yeah. We have fans of Stardew Valley here. I have actually heard good things about Stardew Valley. I haven't played it. Yeah. Larry, do you have a family with gender swap Sebastian on my mountain castle in that game? Nice. Nice. Lions Party, play Asphalt 8. I don't know that one either. Oh, Charlie, Harvest Moon is good now, is it? Okay. Oh, Catherine, you still play Tapped Out? Nice. I think I like haven't missed a day of Tapped Out in fucking years. Celtic, do I still play Pokemon Go? Not really. Every now and then I get it out because it's so long since I played it regularly. They've released, I don't know, fucking hundreds of new Pokemon. So if I start it up, I can always catch a couple Pokemon I've never seen before. But I don't really play it anymore. Video games. Oh, hey man, we're all about we cover as many topics as possible, and video games is something we regularly talk about. I finally started playing Mafia 3. That got all that coverage when it started because your protagonist kills a bunch of the Ku Klux Klan at one point. And all the fucking racists go, oh, planting what? Like, Jesus Christ, the Klan are bad. Okay, when you say, well, why have you made the Nazis the bad guys? Because the Nazis are bad. Why have you made the Klan the bad guys? Because the Klan are bad. And it's just like, my God. But I bought it on a sale. Oh, you got to go, Celtic King. Thanks for dropping by, man. And I tried playing it, and it freezes. It freezes every couple of minutes. That's why I bought Mafia 3, Rukasan, definitely. So yeah, so I don't know if that's a known thing. I don't know if I need to take the disc back to the shop and say it's fucked. It keeps freezing after 10 minutes. I'll give it another go, and if it fucks up again, then maybe I'll take it back to the shop. Oh, and I also set it to dark as well, and I don't know how to bring the brightness back up because I'm stupid. I got Wolfenstein to shoot the Nazis, but I couldn't get into it. I got, again, on sales, I got Wolfenstein and Doom for the PS4 because I used to love the first-person shooters, and I just can't get into them. Whereas, other things like the Yakuza game and Zelda Breath of the Wild, like, open world type stuff, I really get into. But yeah, the Wolfenstein, the New Colossus, and Doom, I just couldn't get into. Larry, remember when video games were just a bunch of squares and dots and lines? Atari Farm remembers. Oh yes, I grew up with the early Atari consoles. I don't know why I couldn't get into it. It's like because I'm not very. Actually, I think the reason I didn't get into them is because I'm not very good at them, and having to just do this fast twitch run and gun stuff, and you go, "Oh, I'm dead." I just wasn't into it. But the more open world things, I'm really enjoying. So, and Mafia 3 sorry, this looks really gross. I'm going to itchy back. I'm using a pen to scratch my back. Mafia 3 looks good, and I hope I can get it to work because it looks like it'll be fun to play. Oh God, I got an itch on my back. Joe of Arc, so did you. You did. So did you. What? There's lots of conversations going on, so I don't know what you're referring to. Wolfenstein: The Old Blood. I played one on the. I even forget which one it was, but this was a while ago. Like one that came out about 10 years ago. I was playing a Wolfenstein game on a PC, and I was getting motion sickness because the 3D movement was so fluid that I'm sitting still. It actually made me feel a bit motion sick, so I stopped playing it. Oh dear. Oh, Joe of Arc, Atari 2800 for life. Yeah, that's what you also did. Yeah, I mean, I'm like literally. I remember we had like a console that just played Pong when I was a kid. Aruka said Just Cause. Is Just Cause 3 the best one? Because, I mean, the most recent one's... Oh, no, that's Just Cause. I was thinking of Far Cry. Yeah, there's a few of them where you get to kill fascists. Like Far Cry 5 is white, ultra right-wing, pseudo-Christian fundamentalists. Tendai, Sleeping Dogs. Is that the hacker one? I'm trying to remember what that is. Oh, RC, that's a big call. Give kids Nintendo games and watches. That'll impress them. Yeah, I mean, I like simple games. But yeah, the open world stuff is fun. Like I definitely got to get around to doing Skyrim. We got Skyrim for the Switch. Oh, that's it, Rickersan. Watch Dogs. See, this is me. There's dogs somewhere in the title, and that's all I remember. Um, uh, oh yes, video games fun. I remember that. Game and Watch was actually a character in Smash Brothers. My God, I do think that they have a good sense of humor at Nintendo. Some of the things you get in Smash Brothers and Mario Party, some of the characters you get are really quite funny. Yeah, Roseanne, I could try. Okay, Sleeping Dogs is like GTA but with martial arts and shit. Okay, that's kind of like the Yakuza game. I had Yakuza Zero. I think there's a new Yakuza game now, but Yakuza Zero was fun. You learn all these fighting styles, plus super weird sense of humor in Yakuza Zero, which I found really weird. Oh, I see you're sending me a pic via Twitter DM. Thank you for that. A garage find. Nice. Oh, video games. Your new one, you want to get Octopath Traveler on the Switch. It's an RPG. Oh, okay. Oh, Rukusen, Yakuza Zero was really fun. Like the fighting stuff in it was really good. And I quite enjoyed the story and the sense of humor. I swear to God. Oh, Japan, you never fail. You never fail to deliver. Like it's set in the 80s because it's a prequel. Because I mean, the Yakuza games are up to 5 or whatever, but this is a prequel that's apparently a setup for the original stuff, and it really just lives up to the thing of Japan being weird. So much of the humor was just really, really twisted. So, oh my God, sorry, I just looked at the message that I got on Twitter from RC. Oh my God, you got a Game and Watch widescreen Octopus and Fire. Okay, I can see why you're kind of into that find. Those are pretty goddamn cool. Um, but yes, no, nice find. That is pretty good. Ricky said, "You think Blood Dragon's the best Far Cry? Which ones? I just thought they were numbered. Like as Far Cry through to a Far Cry 5 come out. Which number is Blood Dragon? I don't think. Yeah. Yeah, video games. I never got into the Final Fantasy game. My kids are into Final Fantasy. We've got like the most recent one for the PlayStation, I think. Uh, um, and I never got into that, but my kids really like the Final Fantasy games. But yeah, oh my god, the humor in looking at Yakuza Zero, because you go to there's like a little mini dating sim in there, and you go to a shop where you just watch videos of cute girls, and it's actual videos, but it's like it's so tame. They're just in bikinis going ah. It's just like, okay, yeah, this seems like a worthwhile thing to do. And it gets really shelf warmer. You're quiet because you're listening. I'm playing Blood Dragon right now. Ah, cool. Okay. Well, we're deep in video game discussion now. It's on for young and old. But yeah, I mean, the next I still haven't finished Zelda Breath of the Wild. I could have, but I just enjoy going around and exploring and doing stuff. Hey, Freelancer. Yeah, I could easily finish it, but I just enjoy running around and exploring and doing things. Oh yeah, RC, I'm with you a bit. I'm thinking of the next Red Dead Redemption. I might get that. Ricky said you like Japanese comedy on the scale of Hitman through to Weather Woman Returns. Weather Woman, the Weather Woman movies were very funny. Did you ever see A Taxing Woman as well? A very weird Japanese movie about a woman who works for the tax department. That was pretty funny. Charlie, your boyfriend told you about Leisure Suit Larry, you lost your mind. Oh man, I grew up with Leisure Suit Larry. Leisure Suit Larry is super weird, very funny and stupid, and self-mocking. It's very funny. Video MT, you might have a point. They might overdo the whole DLC special edition bullshit with Red Dead Redemption. But I mean, it's a license to print money for them, really. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, feeling silly. You're dating yourself there. The last PC game you played was Half-Life. Yeah. Ooh, Heretic, Elder Scrolls 6, Barren Mountain. Yeah, maybe. I mean, because it's been a while since an Elder Scrolls game, hasn't it? I mean, obviously Skyrim's in the Elder Scrolls world. Um, but yeah, I mean, Half-Life. Well, Half-Life had more than a Half-Life, didn't it? It lasted for ages, and the Half-Life engine was used for a lot of games. But yeah, the new Elder Scroll games could be good. They make pretty good games. I'm going to play Skyrim, I think, because Mrs. Angry played Skyrim for quite a while. Speaking of having fun and setting things up, she had a female character. And she wanted to find, because you can get married in the game, she wanted to find someone who looked like me to marry. And she said she couldn't find anyone suitable. So she married a lizard man. So, that's cool. Video games, Half-Life. See, now that's gamer talk there, where you talk about you wanting Half-Life 4 and forgot about 3. I know gamers have a lot of things about which games they're waiting for, but I'm not that hardcore a gamer to know what's coming out when. Tendo, you're not a fan of the Fallout Online thing. Again, I don't know. Yeah, that's basically what she did, Rukusan. And then she adopted a bunch of orphans as well. There's one of the little side quests where an evil lady runs an orphanage and you can kill her. And so she did. Killed the evil lady who ran the orphanage. So oh my god, RC. That is a piece of history you're talking about there. The worst, wrongest, most sexist game in history, Custer's Revenge, which was, I don't know, I don't know if there's ever an official release on Atari 600. Again, you have to remember the Atari 2600 was, oh God, I don't know if it even qualified as 8-bit. It was just squares. And but the premise, okay, Rukusen, from most perspectives, Custer's was tame, but the premise was seriously offensive. That you were playing Custer and you had this little pixel dick waving in front of you, and Pocahontas was tied to a stake. And the purpose of the game was to rape her in really, really low resolution, probably not even 8-bit pixels. So in terms of what it actually was, you can argue it was tame, but the central premise of it was just seriously up. Misfoxification, yeah, gonna wait for Fallout 76 before passing judgment. That's sensible. Not a lot of sensible thing. I'm feeling here. I still haven't seen Ready Player One. I'm just waiting till it like comes on Foxtel or Netflix or something, which would have to be soon. Because then there's Ready Play. I mean, obviously, there are a lot of fringe indie games that have been made over the years that were just and are just horrific. Yeah, because if people can do something terrible, they will. They absolutely will. Ooh, The Heretic. That's a big call. You want a game that's a crossover between GTA 5, Fallout, and Elder Scrolls. Yeah, that's a big call. I did really enjoy GTA 5. I haven't played Fallout, and I haven't played Elder Scrolls or Skyrim. Grand Theft Skyrim Apocalypse. I mean, I, like everyone, was just into playing, zombie games. It's like, even though there were not a lot of there were a lot of zombie games, and none of them were particularly good. But yeah, I would still do it. Like, even on my phone, I've got quite a few mobile games that are zombie themed. Okay, I really want to get. There's this one. I'll see if I can show you the graphics for it. It's called Into the Dead, or there's an Into the Dead 2 now, which is actually a really significant improvement on the original. So I'll show you this screen. Okay, you do this thing. This is like a daily thing. You got to go. There's a theme thing. You have a particular weapon, and that's the only weapon you get on a run. And there's a thing there that says View Offer. And so what it's saying, it's giving you a special thing where you go and do a thing to just shoot as many zombies as you can. I'll show you the graphics, because the graphics are actually pretty good. Look, so okay, so I'll try and see it. So you're going on there, you see the zombies, rah, rah. He got me because I'm not playing it. So it's actually pretty good, but and I enjoy it a lot. But you know how because it's free to play, and they try and get you to spend money on things. So like that thing, View Offer, it's basically to power up your weapon. And whoever designed this is dumb as shit, because this is solely to power up a single weapon, and it says, oh, that's 4,700 gold. Okay, I don't have 4,700 gold. I only have 700 gold. What would it cost me to get 4,000 gold? Oh, $80. They do this thing to power up a single weapon would cost you $80. I mean, what fucking planet are they on? If they did these things for $1 or $2 or a couple of dollars, I probably would have spent a couple. But I mean, this thing of like spend $80 to power up a single weapon is so far beyond fucking stupid. Who the fuck is behind that decision? Who's making that decision? Like, that is absolutely ridiculous. I just can't wrap my head around how someone could make a decision that bad. It's absolutely ridiculous. Well, we got some Kingdom Hearts fans coming out. Again, yeah. Young Ms. Angry. Sport. There's a compilation of all the Kingdom Hearts games, like on a single disc, because there's a new Kingdom Hearts game coming out, apparently. And this is to get you ready for it. So, yeah, my kids have been replaying Kingdom Hearts, the really old Kingdom Hearts games, remastered for the PS4. Yeah. Well, they're already coming. Back in my day, they just released the game, no DLC packs or anything. But yes, because there was no, the internet wasn't good enough in your olden days to download stuff. Although I do remember you could get patches. It's like they would release a game, and it was meant to be complete, but there would always be problems with it, and they would release free patches were meant to fix the problem, and you'd like have to leave the download running all night to get the patch. It was probably only a megabyte or something, but dial-up internet, you'd have to leave the download running all night to get it. But yeah, it's kind of weird now that they it's like a foregone conclusion that they're going to release additional downloadable content that they charge you for, or here's a special edition that you pay even more. It's like an almost foregone conclusion that they do that now. But yeah. Oh yeah, and pay to win, Sebastian. Oh my god, I hate that sort of bullshit. Like I was really interested in getting the latest version of Star Wars Battlefront, but everyone said they fucking killed that by making it pay to win, and so I never got it because I loved it was Battlefront 2 on the PS2. It was a great game, but yeah, they just made it all expansion packs and pay to win, and I heard so many bad things about it that I just didn't want anything to do with it. Sebastian, your Telstra cable being shit tonight. Fortunately, I'm not having any problems because yeah, that'd be bad. But yeah, I mean, like I joked and said like I've been playing that Simpsons Tapped Out forever, but I see some other people's because you can have friends and visit their Springfield and whatnot. And I see some others, and either they are paying a fortune to buy all this extra stuff, buying all the special stuff. So they're either spending a fortune to buy all this extra stuff for the game, or they've found a hack that lets you always have premium currency in those games, and unsurprisingly, in The Simpsons Tapped Out, premium currency is go nuts. And I have heard that you can go on particular forums and they give you cheats for getting unlimited premium currency. When I see some of the other people's Springfield, it's one or the other. Either they're spending a ridiculous amount of real money to buy the extra stuff, or they've found some hack to get unlimited in-game currency. Yeah. Oh, Tendai, you say you pick up the original Star Wars Battlefront 2. Disney has put the service for it. I never play online because I fucking hate people. I hate how obnoxious people are when they play online. I only ever play locally. Like I could be playing GTA online, but no, I had too many bad stories about griefers and fucking it up for everyone. And Yeah, just online gamers shit me too much. Yeah, Catherine, I don't buy premium currency either, but I just see some other people's Springfields where they've got everything. So either they're buying premium currency or they've found a hack to get unlimited premium currency. I have this situation like that. In Terra Online, you can trade items intelligently to make a profit, spend that within the game. Rukusan, and yet I live stream and do YouTube. Oh yeah, but I can block trolls. But you know, you can't really you can't block the griefers in online gaming. You know, the people who's just their idea of fun is to fuck up the game for everyone. Leratic, that's the point. Jim Sterling showing games don't have to be expensive, but the companies sink all the money into cutscenes and motion capture for the cutscenes, and it drives up the costs. Yep. Video games, if everyone was Leroy Jenkins, that would be fun. I still love that Leroy Jenkins video, which I don't know if anyone else has heard this, but I think I've heard that original, well, the original video that we see online of the people getting ready to do a raid and guy screams Leroy Jenkins, that's staged. That's a recreation of something that someone says happened in a game of theirs, which is a slightly disappointing thing to learn. But I suppose that's the world we live in. You know, you can't believe anything. Everything that you think is pure and wonderful, and it isn't. But yeah, I still love saying when you just dive into something without proper preparation, just shouting Leroy Jenkins as you do it. Ruki-san, I don't know that the Leroy Jenkins video was fake definitively. But oh yeah, so okay, video games, you found out it's staged. Yeah, yeah. I believe it was staged, but yeah, it's very funny. Just that whole thing of the guy there. Okay, so you ready to go? This guy always gives us a lot of trouble, and we're gonna do this, and so we're gonna do that. And then we go, Leroy Jenkins charges it. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. Feeling silly. You saw the original Tron back in the 80s while stoned. I've got plenty of shushes. What were you doing? Were you saying whoa all the time? Yeah, yeah, the original Tron, that seems like something to go to while you're stoned. Yeah. Yes, hilarity. All right, thumbs up, guys. Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins. It's a beautiful moment. It's always kind of embarrassing when you say that in real life in some context, and it's completely apt moment to go Leroy Jenkins, and no one gets it. And you go, it's a video game thing, all right? No, okay. Or did I Tron Legacy while stoned? Yeah, I think that would make Tron Legacy better. I didn't hate Tron Legacy. A lot of people really rag on Tron Legacy, and I didn't hate it. I got a real giggle the bit where you're in the what do they call the game world in Tron? It's not the Matrix. That is of course the Matrix, but uh, that bit where because the soundtrack was done by Daft Punk, and that bit where they're in the club in video game land and Daft Punk are actually in there doing the music. That was great. I loved that. That's it, Heretic. That is actually my favorite line. Better even than shouting Leroy Jenkins when someone fucks something up. Just going, God damn it, Leroy. That's usually the reference I do when someone fucks something up. I don't just go, God damn it, Leroy. And you just get blank looks because they don't know who Leroy is. That's it, Shelf Warmer, the game grid. Thank you. There was again. Look, lots of people rag on Tron Legacy, and yes, it was flawed, and yes, there's a lot good, but there were elements of it that were great. And I do love it when the guy's thrown into his first combat in the arena and he doesn't really know what's going on, and he's being kitted out by that female, and he has no idea what's going on, and he says, "What am I supposed to do?" And she just looks at him and says, "Survive." And like, yeah, you just got that's like fucking Dark Souls level stuff. Get good, motherfucker. What are you supposed to do? Get good. I'm with you, video games. The Leroy Jenkins video never gets old. It's so fucking funny. Again, I'm with you, Lucas, and people complaining, saying, "Well, Tron Legacy was just a 2-hour Daft Punk music video." What's wrong with that? Where's the downside there? Heretic, that is a fair point. Pros of Tron Legacy, CGI, cinematography. You forgot music. Cons, almost everything. There's a couple good lines in it, and there's a couple good concepts in it. But yeah, it didn't quite hang together. I think there's a lot that's good about Tron Legacy, but it didn't quite hang together. I tend to, you're right. Clue was a victim of the uncanny valley, very much so. Um, it is. I forget who came up with the line, the uncanny valley, but it is a really good line. Like, as computer graphics get better and better, we notice the tiny flaws in it more and more. And you say, "Oh, no, that's fake. That's really fucking weird." It's like I rewatched Rogue One recently because it's fucking great. Um, and I noticed the more I watch it, the less I hate the computer generated Tarkin, Grand Moff Tarkin. I still think it was a mistake. I just think they should have recast the role and had another actor playing it. I still think they were doing that for its own sake. Um, but I notice each time I watch it, I hate the computer generated Tarkin less. Uh, but the computer generated Leia is still fucking terrible. She's only in it for 5 seconds, but it's fucking terrible. Video games, that is an excellent topic for conversation. The upcoming game, Death Stranding. What the fuck is it? What is it? Yes, did Kojima have a David Lynch dream? If you don't know anything about it, look up trailers and stuff for it online. Like, what's his face from Walking Dead has been motion captured as the lead character for it. And what? What? You look at it and go, what's going on? This looks really fucking strange. And I hope it works. I hope it's a good game. I hope it's not a major disappointment. But at this point, it's like you see the trailers and examples of gameplay for Death Stranding, and you look at it and go, what the fuck? The Heretic, you're down on The Hobbit. I haven't watched it recently, so I'm not sure. I reckon The Lord of the Rings holds up. I rewatched The Lord of the Rings not that long ago, and that's like 90s CGI and mixed with practical effects. And I reckon The Lord of the Rings holds up today because they mix the practical effects with the CGI. But I haven't watched The Hobbit recently because that was just fucking weird. Turning The Hobbit into 3 movies was fucking weird. Should have just been 1 movie. It was really bizarre that they moved. It's kind of like when you look at uh, whole sequences of books being made into movies. That's the Lord of the Rings fault. Lord of the Rings was very successful, and people said, "Hey, look, we can make really long sequences of movies and make money. Yay, let's do that. And the whole thing, you notice Harry Potter set a trend, like making a movie of each book. And then when it's the last movie, so it's your last chance to screw a few dollars out of the fans, you actually split the last book into 2 movies. That's Harry Potter's. They're not the only ones to have done it, but they started it. That's Harry Potter's fault. But the Hobbit being 3 films, that was just an absolutely shameless cash grab. That was an absolutely shameless cash grab. But yes. Yeah, Feeler and Sealer and La Heretica, I think you're right. Guillermo del Toro could have made The Hobbit quite interesting. Who knew I've run out of drink again? Tendai, speaking of Kojima, trying to explain the whole of Metal Gear to someone who's never played Metal Gear. Yeah, that's a bit of trouble. Okay, I'm going to get some more ice. Yes. Okay. So, yes. This is in the Pepsi bottle. This is a punch I actually made. Young Mr. Angry had some mates over for a little bit of a party, and I made them some punch. So, yeah, my youngest is over 18. That's how old I am. This is a herbal tincture. Change the flavor of it a little bit. So yeah, that's how old I am. My youngest is 18. So yeah, and so yeah, his mates over, and I made them a punch to drink, and there's some left over, so I'm drinking it now. Okay. Video games, yes, the Hobbit films have Legolas doing bizarre action. I did think it was funny. You know, it's one of those things. I think it was like a Tumblr post or something that said, like, someone watched the Lord of the Rings movies. They'd never read the books. When they went to read the books, they expected there to be a sequence in the Battle of Helm's Deep. He said, yeah, and then Legolas skated down the steps on his shield, using it like a skateboard and shooting motherfuckers with arrows, and it was really fucking sick. And of course, there's nothing like that in the book. Harrison, random question, best random angry phone calls. I did get, yeah, there's some funny videos over the years from angry phone calls. For those who don't know what that means, I used to have like a throwaway mobile phone, and I'd put the number out on the internet. People could call it. Okay. My all-time favorite is the dude who called me when he was in class. He's going, "Hi," I'm going, "Can you speak up?" He goes, "No, I can't. I'm in class." And I control. "Why are you calling me in class?" "I don't know. I'm stoned. I thought it would be funny." And he came on to one of the live things. "Do you remember when I did that thing? When I called in class, I got into so much trouble." So I had lots of good conversations with people on the angry phone, but yes, probably the funniest was the guy who called me. He's at school and he's calling me from inside a class, and he's just whispering. And I'm like, "I can't hear you. Can you speak up?" "No, I can't. I'm in class." Ah. Ricky said, "You remember leaving a drunken message on angry phone for birthday many years ago?" "No regrets. Good. You shouldn't have regrets." I you went in Metal Gear Solid 4 expecting solid action stealth. The cutscenes long enough to make a full movie. I don't think I've ever played Metal Gear Solid. I think I played like some of the really early ones. You know, Solid Snake when it was a 2D platformer. Heine, you think first contact with me was through the info? Maybe. I thought it might have been a meetup. Who knows? Lion Spider, showing age, just text. Man, yeah. And of course, people could text the angry phone as well. Oh, you want the oh, Sebastian, your modem's restarted. Very nice. My favorite ever texting thing was when I was in England, possibly the last time I was in England. Again, I got a cheap phone so I could make calls locally, and someone started texting, and I was like, "Who is this?" And this girl is convinced she's texting her boyfriend, and I'm going, "You're really not, okay?" And I was making jokes like, "New phone, who dis?" And she was getting really shitty, and she wouldn't believe me. I said, "I don't know," and I'm trying to text her, going, "I don't know what the problem is. I bought this cheap phone. I'm a tourist, seriously." And she was getting really shitty, like, "Why are you playing me like this?" And I'm going, "Dude, no, this is not what's happening." And she really wouldn't believe that I wasn't a boyfriend. She thought I was playing things. And so what I did was screen cap some of the text messages and said, okay, because I was on Twitter saying the weirdest shit in the fucking world is happening to me at the moment. And she wouldn't believe I wasn't her boyfriend. And I said, go on Twitter and look up AngryAussie. That's me. I swear to God. Look, I'm screen capping the text things. It's like, please, this is weirding me out really badly. I don't know what's happening. That was probably my favorite thing that ever happened with texts, actually. Sebastian, did you ever get any nudes? Not on the phone. I'm really surprised, like Celtic King hasn't sent me nudes on the internet now. Although he did say what his Pornhub channel was at one point, which is disturbing stuff. But anyway, so yeah. Ooh, Line Spider, you had a text someone thinking you were his secret mistress. That's pretty good. I do like that. I like that. With Metal Gear Solid talk, feeling until you wish they did a Metal Gear bitch game from Edge of Tomorrow. Oh, sorry. Do you mean the movie, like that Tom Cruise movie, Edge of Tomorrow, which is a good movie? And if you're the sort of person who thinks any movie with Tom Cruise is shit, I understand that. But Edge of Tomorrow is a good movie. Very underrated. Wasn't a huge hit. Video games. You got a weird message on Facebook. An ophthalmologist about cornea study and a holiday. True, but informational nature suggested a mistake or a hack. Nice. Oh, Sebastian, that American Made, was that the one where he's a drug dealer? I haven't seen that yet, but it kind of looked good. I'm meaning to watch it. This occasion, any movie where you get to see Cruise die repeatedly has to be good. It is funny. It's got a very video game sensibility in it, and that it keeps playing this stuff over and over. But that's it, Sebastian, the drug smuggler. Yeah, okay, I do want to watch that at some point. Actually, yes. But yeah. And speaking of Tom Cruise movies that aren't good, I did watch the one he's in, The Mummy, possibly just last weekend. Um, kind of shit. Like that mob, which because we've got the Marvel comic universe in movies and the DC comic universe in movies, and the Universal people were trying to make their monster expanded universe. And they were saying, like, what was it? So like Godzilla and King Kong and the Mummy all happened in the same universe. Trying to text message a bit easier. It's young Mr. Angry's out at a friend's place. Yeah, but the Mummy failed really badly. Yeah, it was kind of shit. I watched it. All right, okay, music behavior. Another Tom Cruise movie, Oblivion, has some very good stuff in it. I don't know, it doesn't quite work overall for me, but there is some very good stuff in the movie Oblivion. But yeah, for me, overall, Oblivion didn't quite work. Edge of Tomorrow, way better. Yes, video games, the spam scam phone calls. It's like when they show the number. Yeah, if I get one showing, because I'm in Melbourne, if I get an O2, it's like, no, I'm not even answering that. It's just a spammer. But then you get the ones that are pre-recorded in Chinese, and they leave voicemail. Oh, got a voice message. What is it? It's just someone speaking in Chinese. Okay, I don't know what that's about. Line Spider, if I ever get one of those scams saying they're from Microsoft and they're trying to help, I'm going to record it because I'm gonna do exactly what you said. The infection caused by all the porn. The symptom doesn't mean I'm going to record it, make a video, and say it's because of the porn, isn't it? And then I'm going to find some porn and play some porn and describe to them what's happening on screen and say, is this why there's a problem with my computer? Has this done something on it? Or uh, or yeah, trying to describe two girls, one cup to them, and say, is that why it's wrong? Wow, Heidi, you've been getting calls from a forthright British woman saying you're going broke. Yeah, if I get that call, I'm going to talk to them. Forthright British woman telling me I'm going broke. That'd be all the heroin I take. Oh, this Foxfication, the Chinese one is claiming to be from the consulate and they're blackmailing Chinese students. Right. Yes, it's obviously meant to target Chinese people, but yeah. Charlie, you just don't answer your phone. Are you a millennial? Millennials never answer their phones. So weird. Larry, yes, if you answer your phone, they know there's someone there. That is true. Um, uh, but I had one, like someone calling me like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I went, no, I'm not. I'm not telling you anything. And I went, yeah, you are. You know, and then they try to tell us something. And then I feel completely liberated to say, fuck you, you piece of shit. You just fucking lied to me. You said you weren't selling anything, and you obviously fucking are. Fuck you. And because I've worked customer service, so I try not to abuse people, but fuck them. Oh, that's it, Filler and Sealer. They were calling that the Dark Universe, and the Mummy killed it because the Mummy was such an expensive failure. Oh. Kong Skull Island was pretty fun. Who saw Kong Skull Island? That was fun. It was very silly, but it was fun. Whereas the Mummy wasn't really fun. They were like trying too hard, like Russell Crowe's in it, and they were trying to bring like everything into it. They're saying like vampires and werewolves and mummies real, and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde's real, and blah 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 blah. It's like, no, trying too hard. Sorry. Sorry, Larry. It's 2018. If anyone wants me, they can text or tweet me. See me in a horrible accident or a scam. Oh, Charlie, I think Wolfman back in 2010 was the first part. You may be right. You may be right. I'm well aware that many of the younger generations than me only want to communicate through text. But I am old and still occasionally speak to people on the telephone. But I completely understand the whole thing about only wanting to communicate via text. I think we would have ended up with King Kong v Godzilla. Although in Kong Skull Island, we sort of got that because Kong was fighting the other giant monsters, including a giant lizardy, snaky thing. Um, I thought the recent Godzilla movie, which was meant to be part of Dark Universe, was not bad because that was the classic thing of everyone thinking Godzilla was bad, but Godzilla was actually trying to defend us against Mothra, although they're not Mothra in that. Uh, you know, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. But it was kind of funny, the final fight with Godzilla and the not Mothra monster The final thing, yeah, Godzilla actually like forced open its enemy's mouth and vomited down its throat. Thinking, okay, that's odd. That's odd what you're doing there. That's some pretty strange behavior, quite honestly. It's Charlie, we need Gamera back. But yeah, the monster in the most recent Made for America Godzilla was obviously sort of inspired by Mothra, but it wasn't actually Mothra. But yeah, again, it was a bit long and didn't really hold together. It had good stuff in it. I mean, you got to watch it as a diversion. I don't feel like you're going to go, well, that's like my all-time favorite movie. Music over. You got your getting the NBN soon letter the other day. You're watering your ADSL line, which is fucked it up. Oh, that's not good. Toby, what are we talking about now? Now we're talking about movies, specifically monster movies. I look, okay, Tina, yes, throw in the Jaegers from Pacific Rim has some real fun. I mean, a lot of people rag on, well, the original Pacific Rim, but particularly the sequel, Pacific Rim Uprising. But it's like, what's not to like? They basically said, hey, if you watch this movie, you'll get giant robots fighting giant monsters. And what do you get if you watch the movies? Giant robots fighting giant monsters. I mean, I'm happy because that's all I wanted out of the movies. I just wanted giant robots fighting giant monsters. And they delivered, and I was pretty happy about it. And probably the only bit I didn't like in the original Pacific Rim is when they're in the Jaeger fighting kaiju, and they're like, "Oh no, we're out of weapons. We can't do anything." And the other brother goes, "Oh, not quite," and pushes a button to make the sword come out. It's like, okay, the dude fucking he knew he had a sword in the thing. Why are you acting like, oh no, I thought I had no weapons left, but miraculously there's no, dude, you fucking knew you had that weapon. That was dumb. I just hate it when they do dumb things. And I honestly don't think Pacific Rim Uprising made that mistake. A lot of people didn't like it, but it's like, dude, all I wanted is giant robots fighting giant monsters, and they gave that. Video games. I still haven't seen Incredibles 2. I really want to see Incredibles 2, but I haven't seen it yet. Toby, Celtic wants to know if I got any mail. There is mail waiting for me. I have to go and get it. I'll maybe go into the city on the weekend. It's really weird now that I don't work in the city. Going in the city on the weekend seems like a bit of a drag, but I know there's mail waiting for me, so I really need to go into the city and get it. Mm. Felix, if you're saying Transformers is shit, I agree. I have no time for the Transformers movies at all. And when people say like, "Oh, I love the Transformers this and the movies let me down," and it's like, no, Transformers only ever existed to sell toys. Um, the central conceits of Transformers make no fucking sense whatsoever. They never made sense. It was never a good idea. The only reason Transformers ever existed was to sell toys. Yes, Line Spider, Voltron is a much better option. Whether it's classic Voltron or the more recent one on Netflix, I've seen parts of, seems pretty goddamn good. But the thing, Toby, if you think it's urine, if Toby, if your urine looks like that, go and see a doctor, okay? Because there's something wrong. Urine looks like this. Oh, video games. There's nothing wrong with liking Transformers as such. It's just when people go, oh, I think Michael Bay ruined it. Like, seriously, dude, the only reason this thing ever existed was to sell toys. And I mean, there's so many things. Like even Pokemon was about selling the cards and later the games. But fucking Transformers was so shamelessly, absolutely shamelessly about selling toys. Like all the Saturday morning cartoons, just about were about selling you something. But Transformers was so shamelessly about selling toys. I never had any time for it. Rick's saying, well, what does it mean if there's a whistling sound when you pee? Um, well, depends where it's coming from. If there's some dude with you whistling while you pee, that just means you have a friend. That just means you have a friend who wants to be there when you pee. But if it's your penis that's doing the whistling, yeah, that's a different story. You're right, Miss Foxification. Most kids' shows are about marketing toys because it's money. But I think Transformers was the most shameless because the whole central premise of Transformers makes no sense at all. And it's just about selling the toys, the robots that turn into cars. This thing. Ooh, $10. There's going to be a live action Gundam movie. Well, that could be. I heard in all the 80s stuff, like Transformers, He-Man. Yeah, He-Man was all about the toys. Toby, do I drink rum? Sometimes, sometimes. In fact, I don't. I think I just realised I don't have any rum at the moment. Maybe you need to get some because it's sometimes a component in drinks. Yes. Oh my God, Feeler and Celia, you watched the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon in the early 80s. I played Dungeons and Dragons in the 80s. Yeah. And you heard they're making a live action movie of gargoyles. Okay. I'm not sure about that. Biori, how you doing? You thought it was Wednesday. It's Thursday, my friend. Almost the weekend. Video game. See, my kids were born about the time that Pokemon came out. So I got the first couple, season, 2 seasons of Pokemon on VHS and watched them a million times, but then didn't watch any later ones. I did watch some of the movies. So yeah, I know the first generation Pokemon and nothing after that. So yeah. I suppose when you're reading the Ready Player One book, I'd be interested what you think about that. Okay. Heading out before you go, scam puns, PayPal scams, United Scams America, Scampodia, Scam Sketcher, Scamtions time, can a scam, a scam native scam. Good night, Larry. Thank you very much for dropping by. Dude, that's like a running joke at the moment. Talking about casting Scarlett Johansson in roles that should go to someone who's another ethnicity. Oh my God! Like when I watched because I did watch the version of Ghost in the Machine that she was in. There was a whole thing because okay, the character she plays is synthetic, is based on the built around the brain of a real human, but a synthetic body, and Scarlett Johansson. But it turns out uh, she the brain was actually like a Japanese girl, and I thought, are they? Is that like an in joke there when they finally reveal that the girl whose brain the ScarJo character was built around was Japanese, and she goes and sees her mum, her Japanese mum. Is that a joke? An internal joke about cultural appropriation? As in they're going, tee hee, we know what we're doing. The character should be Asian. It's like we're making a joke here about yeah, she is Asian, but we gave her a Caucasian body, which is like super weird. Ricky saying, yeah, I think what's the audience? How many people know that we're talking about VHS? Yeah, but then you say video games, DVDs, discs. I buy some things on disc. Very rarely now, because it is much easier to watch them streaming one. But when there's good extra stuff like most of the Star Wars films, like The Last Jedi, has hours of extra features on the Blu-ray. Like, the making of documentary that's normally 30 minutes. The making of thing on The Last Jedi is like 90 minutes to 2 hours. There's so much in it, and there's 10 extra features on there, and which you don't get from any sort of streaming thing. But yeah. So that's good. Finally, I'm playing Hitler as he's meant to be played, a strong black woman. Don't need no man. Yeah, video games, the extras. Star Wars movies have great extras. Pixar movies have great extras. I love the extras on Pixar movies where they show you their development method, their story development method is great. Okay, Sebastian, you got me there. Has anyone heard of Star Wars Despecialized? Sorry, yeah. In all seriousness, I thought you were making some pun about Desposito there for a second, and I didn't know where you were going with that. But yeah, there's a thing with some Star Wars fans to want to see the original trilogy without any of the George Lucas obsessive special things. And I did get a box set once where it's both the special editions of the original trilogy and are very close to the original versions of the trilogy as well. I mean, it's weird when you read up on that whole idea of Star Wars Despecialized, you find out how obsessive some people get about no, there's this version that was just like this, and then even the version that was originally put on DVD that's different. That's even before the special edition, and people get super obsessive. But I do have a version on DVD that is very close to the original versions of the original trilogy. It's kind of funny, like when The Force Awakens comes out, I thought, okay, I'm going to rewatch Star Wars, get in the mood to watch this new one. And I watched the original trilogy, and it was fucking great. And then I went, will I watch the prequels? No, I don't think I will. I've got them on disc, and I don't think I'll watch them because they really don't contribute that much. They're not that good. And yes, video games, you hit on the central thing. Who shot first? Solo fired first. And I did enjoy the Solo movie, Star Wars story, that came out this year. I mean, you could argue it's flawed, definitely. But there was lots of cute stuff for Star Wars fans, including a Solo fired first moment, which was pretty fucking good. Yes, Tendai. Someone did a version of the Last Jedi where they removed all the female actors, so it's 30 minutes long. Yeah, good. Sorry, Lion Spider. I love that so much. Your kids can't take Star Wars seriously because they've watched Spaceballs, so they know that Spaceballs just took the piss out of it. Oh, that's an interesting one, Shelf Warmer. If you find episode 3 on VHS, it's worth a mint because there weren't that many made. This is a good bit of trivia. I like it. I tell you what, a friend of mine have Laserdiscs. Who remembers Laserdiscs? It was a very short-lived technology that came out just before DVDs. The discs were like the size of a vinyl LP, 12-inch vinyl LP. And they couldn't store that much data. So for long movies, you had 2 discs. But versions of Star Wars that were released on Laserdisc were basically the original versions. and a friend of mine had a Laserdisc player and had the original Star Wars on Laserdisc. And for collectors, they're apparently worth a huge amount because it's a good quality media, and it's the original version of Star Wars. So yeah. Oh, Rickson, you've got Star Wars Definitive Edition on Laserdisc. There you go. Barry, yeah, man, my introduction to Laserdisc was a rental place. And so bought a Laserdisc player and used to rent Laserdiscs from them. They were a high-end hi-fi place, but yeah, it's really weird. I used to have a Laserdisc player. Yeah, no, a friend of mine had a Laserdisc player and he had the original Star Wars stuff, which is apparently worth a fortune to collectors. Video games, I don't remember which version of Star Wars. Well, I am an old man. So when I was a lad, the original Star Wars came out, so I saw it in cinemas. I still remember. See, this is back in the 70s. In Australia, we were so isolated. Movies often, and even TV shows, often wouldn't come out here to 6 months, a year, or longer after when they came out in the US or Europe. So Star Wars came out like 6 months later here. So it was a phenomenon because it was very groundbreaking. And I still remember, because I was really young, seeing it talked about on TV, like, oh, this new movie is amazing. And the thing that stuck in my mind is it was so overwhelming. I couldn't tell the difference between C-3PO and the Stormtroopers because the look of both of them was just so innovative. So, yeah. Oh, Emperor Cigar, you dropped in I mean, it's almost 10 o'clock. I'm about to go to bed, man. Yeah. Finish my drink, though. Oh, Rukasan, you're going to send me photos. Yeah, dude, I'd love to see you've actually got the Star Wars Definitive Edition Laserdisc. That's nice, man. Oh, Shelf Warmer Aliens is another one that I love. I love, okay, the original Alien was great, which is like a haunted house movie in space. And then the sequel, Aliens, was so different. But great action movie. And Aliens 3, David Fincher's first movie, I think was like really underrated. And then what was the one with those French guys? Wasn't Resurrection, was it? Alien Resurrection? What was the next one called? But yeah, I mean the recent ones, are fucking stupid. But you just googled Laserdiscs. Yeah, they're 12 inches. They're like 12-inch vinyl. Laserdiscs were like this fucking big. Emperor Cigar, nothing wrong with being fashionably late. I tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing. And in Australia, apparently it's going to be on SBS Viceland. TV series inspired by What We Do in the Shadows, New Zealand comedy about undead and supernatural creatures in New Zealand, and they're apparently doing it like a reality TV series, like a cop style show called Wellington Paranormal. The division and the Wellington Police Force that's tasked with investigating paranormal activity. Oh my god, it looks so good. Like what's his face, who did along with fantastic movies like What We Do in the Shadows and Hunt for the Wilder People, also did Thor Ragnarok, and now he's doing a TV series inspired by What We Do in the Shadows, Wellington Paranormal, which looks really promising. It's going to be on SBS Viceland in Australia at the end of this month, I think. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Barry, look, you're fairly full on. Aliens 1 and 2 are by far the best. Aliens 3 is interesting. And was the fourth one called Alien Resurrection? I really like that. A lot of people rag on it, but I really like it. That's it, Biori. Taiki Waititi. My brain was going blank for a second. Video games. Look, you're right. If you've seen the first two Alien movies, they're the best ones. Alien 3 is interesting. It's like David Fincher's first movies. The fourth one, which I think is called Alien Resurrection, I really like. These French filmmakers made it. But yeah, the more recent ones, yeah, it's like, Emperor's Secret, you think Alien's the best in the series? Lots of xenophobia because there's the marine stuff in Aliens was good. James Cameron directed that, and the marine tactics are apparently really pretty spot on. I think Aliens is great. Yes. If you want to read some weird shit, actually, so there are some really good articles online about Aliens 3, and there was some real Hollywood fuckery went on with the makings of Aliens 3. It's very weird, very weird. Tendai, you want to know if I ever tried? Tendai, have you tried Bofa? That's my question. Video games, directed by 3 and 4 are talented. No, it's a good point. You make a good point, video games. David Fincher, who has proved himself to be a very good filmmaker, made Alien 3. Look, it's worth it as an oddity, I think, but Alien 4, Resurrection, it's made by those French filmmakers. I really like Alien Resurrection. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people actually rag on it really badly. But I personally, I really like Alien Resurrection. I think it's got some great stuff in it. I want to rewatch Alien 3 because I haven't watched it for ages. And I want to rewatch it to see if I think it's shit or if I think it's good. Because I have not watched it in a very long time. And I've got like an Alien quadrilogy box set on disc. So I want to rewatch Alien 3 at some point. Yeah, it's right. Fincher did Fight Club and 7. This is good. Clapping for chlamydia. I'm literally leaving. I just finished my drink. It's after 10 o'clock. We're going to work tomorrow. And Rick said, you make a good point. Alien Resurrection had Ron Perlman in and of itself enough to recommend the movie. And he does the thing. He has that great line where he says to the character that Winona Ryder plays, like, you're new to this crew, so you don't know yet. But you will learn I'm a person with whom one does not fuck. Oh, Barry, you're going to watch Alien 3 and 4 and hold me responsible. In all seriousness, dude, I would be really interested to see what you think about them. Cool. Clapping for chlamydia. I am fine. I am going to bed. I want to thank you all, as per usual, for being wonderful company. Had a very good time. I hope you all had a very good time. Enjoyed myself immensely. You'll look after yourselves and take good care. I hope to see you again. Yeah, you're right, Jen. Dude, Zero. We had one troll with like 4 different accounts. Barry, my usual nights for live, I don't do it every week, but it's often Tuesday and Thursday night. So yeah, this is a good one. So take care of yourself, one and all. You're all wonderful people. Thank you for sharing time with me. I'll be making at least 1 or 2 videos over the weekend. Oh yes, clapping for chlamydia. See you in dreams. Good night to you, one and all. Take care of yourself. Have a good time, and I will see you later and say bye now.